If my first love comes back and asks me to be with them, I would not answer immediately, because first love has a strange power over the human heart. It is not always the deepest love, but it is often the love that leaves the deepest memory. Your first love can become attached to a particular version of yourself, a particular period of your life, a particular dream you once had, and sometimes even a particular feeling of innocence that you can never completely recreate. So if that person suddenly returned and stood in front of you saying, "Come back to me, be with me again," your heart might respond before your mind even understands what is happening. You might remember the conversations, the late-night messages, the laughter, the promises, the moments when you believed that this person would remain in your life forever. You might remember the way they looked at you, the way your heart raced when their name appeared on your phone, the excitement of being loved by someone for the first time, and perhaps even the pain of losing them. But love teaches us something important. Remembering someone is not the same as needing them back. Missing someone is not the same as being compatible with them, and having loved someone deeply in the past does not automatically mean that you should build your future with them. If my first love came back and asked me to be with them, I would first ask myself one simple but powerful question: am I in love with this person as they are today? Or am I in love with who we used to be? Because sometimes we do not miss the person, we miss the version of ourselves that existed when we were with them. We miss the excitement, the innocence, the hope, the possibility, and the dreams that were attached to that relationship. And when the person returns, we can mistakenly believe that the old feeling has returned too. But people change. You have changed. They have changed. Your priorities have changed. Your emotional needs have changed. Your understanding of love has changed. The person standing in front of you today is not necessarily the same person you once loved, and you are certainly not the same person who once loved them. That is why returning to a first love should never be about simply reopening an old chapter. It should be about asking whether two completely different versions of yourselves can create a healthy new chapter together. And this is where emotional maturity begins. Mature love does not simply ask, "Do I still have feelings?" It asks, "Can we create peace together? Can we communicate honestly? Can we respect each other's boundaries? Can we trust each other again? Have we both grown? Do our values still align? Are we choosing each other because we genuinely want each other, or because the past feels familiar? Familiarity can be incredibly powerful. The human brain often finds comfort in what it recognizes, even when what it recognizes was not necessarily good for it. This is why someone from your past can return and suddenly make your heart feel like it has traveled backward in time. One message, one voice, one photograph, one familiar sentence can activate memories that you thought you had already moved beyond. But emotional memories are not always instructions. Sometimes they are simply reminders of where you have been. You can appreciate a beautiful memory without turning it into a future. You can love what someone meant to you without deciding that they should still have a place in your life. And you can forgive someone without becoming their partner again. These distinctions are extremely important because many people confuse emotional intensity with emotional truth. Just because your heart beats faster when your first love returns does not mean that the relationship is meant to return. Sometimes your heart is reacting to history, not compatibility. Sometimes nostalgia feels like destiny simply because the past is emotionally familiar. If my first love came back, I would therefore slow down. I would not make a decision in the first emotional moment. I would listen, observe, and understand. I would want to know why they came back now. What changed? What made them think about me again? Are they lonely? Are they genuinely ready for a relationship? Did another relationship fail and suddenly make them appreciate me? Are they returning because they have grown? Or because they remember how I once loved them? Those questions are not meant to be cruel. They are meant to protect something precious, the heart that has already survived the ending once. Because when someone from your past returns, you are not simply deciding whether to love them again. You are deciding whether you are willing to risk the healing you have already achieved. And that decision deserves patience. Maybe they come back with sincere intentions. Maybe they have changed. Maybe the relationship ended because of timing, immaturity, distance, family circumstances, misunderstandings, or circumstances neither of you knew how to handle at the time. Sometimes people separate not because love was fake, but because they were not emotionally ready to protect it. And if both people grow, there can be situations where a second chance becomes something beautiful. But a second chance should never mean returning to the same relationship and expecting a different result without changing anything. If the same communication problems remain, if the same disrespect remains, if the same emotional unavailability remains, if the same dishonesty remains, then going back is not a second chance. It is simply repeating an old lesson. Love should evolve when people evolve. If my first love returned, would want to see evidence of growth rather than simply hearing promises about growth. Anyone can say, "I have changed." Real change is visible in behavior. It appears in how someone communicates when they are angry, how they respond when they are disappointed, how they handle boundaries, how they take responsibility for mistakes, how they treat your vulnerability, and how consistently they show up when there is nothing exciting happening. Love is not proven by a dramatic return. Love is proven by consistent behavior after the return. And perhaps that is one of the greatest lessons your first love can teach you. Sometimes the person who first teaches you love is not necessarily the person who teaches you what healthy love looks like. Your first love may teach you excitement, attachment, longing, vulnerability, heartbreak, and emotional intensity. But later experiences can teach you boundaries, communication, self-respect, patience, emotional intelligence, and discernment. You begin to understand that love is not only about how strongly you feel something. It is also about how safely you can live inside that feeling. A relationship should not constantly make you question your worth. It should not require you to abandon yourself just to keep someone else. It should not make you afraid to express your needs. It should not force you to accept disrespect simply because the